Welcome to another Relax and Paint. And I am excited to do something fun today, something a little bit different. I went to Dollar Tree and got a dollar 8x10 canvas, and it's got a little bit of a wrap to it, but they're actually $1.25. And I just put out a little bit of acrylic multi-surface paint, and we're going to use an Idena pen. And it's like we used to mark our clothing with for gym, but there's a large tip and a small tip. All right. Now, I have to tell you, many of you have talent, and sometimes you just don't realize what your talent is. And I have to tell you, when I woke up this morning, I thought how blessed I am that I had 7 children. And I just wanted to create so bad that I would stay up late at night or wake up really early in the morning and just create something. So it was my relaxation. So I want you to think about that. I know there's a lot of you out there that are moms, and a lot of you that you're empty nesters now. There's a lot of things that drive us to create. And I think you're going to like this. It's going to be fun, something different than you usually see me do. Please join by subscribing, and please check out, you can join our membership, which gives you 4 full-length lessons. They're at least an hour each during the month for $9.99 a month. So check it out. You can come on and go off at any time. And you get all the benefits of all the filming I've done, which is, since I started this year, over 50 video lessons. All right, sound good? So let's get started. Thank you for being on. So this is a small canvas, and I put a square here. So you can do a fat square, skinny square, whatever you want. I've just penciled it in. Okay. And I just had this idea today. So what I want to do is, let's do a flower on here, and it's going to be a faux watercolor look. So we're going to have a stem coming down here, and well, let's put our flowers first. All right. So we're going to have a little center of a flower here. All right. And then I'm just going to come with my pencil, and this is right on the raw canvas, and I'm going to do some daisy petals. All right. So we're going to come all along here, and these are going to be the front petals. All right. So you can pick up any picture that you see and of a real photograph of a daisy and trace these petals. Those are the back petals. Okay. So I'm going to put the stem in here, and it's going to come across here. All right. And then this one, let's do a little bit of a top of this daisy, and it's going to be a little bit larger and kind of loose. Then we're going to come out here a little bit and out here and here. Okay, so I do want to erase this, and it's not going to erase very well. But these little pencils are also I know you can get expensive ones, but these are at Dollar Tree, and I don't usually get the colored eraser, but you get 10 of these for $1, and they have the right eraser on them already with a number 2 lead. So that's kind of fun. All right. So I really shouldn't put these pencil lines first, because I'm going to, for the stems, because we're going to put these flowers here. So let's do a bigger flower here. The big center. Okay. And we're going to have a little bit of a petal going there from behind. And this one's going to be way bigger. And I'm going to bring it off. All right, and we can do a little one over here. Okay, I wish I had done, I always tell you to draw your pencils like sketching. Don't draw a heavy line. And I traced trace a shape from a shape that I had here, which meant I pushed it harder than I would have, because usually you just lightly sketch. Okay. All right. So then we're gonna have another stem here. And I'm gonna have, oh my gosh, why did I put all these lines in here? The bad part of that is that they will show through. And so I wish I hadn't have done that. So you had the advantage of not doing that. All right. So I'm going to come right in here and do a big stem in there. All right. And then we'll have a little one there. We're just going to create some stems, some petals, a new pod that's getting ready to bloom. All right. So I am going to do some pen and inking. This is going to be like you saw the picture when you started taking this class. This is going to be fun. And I haven't done this before, so I'm going to be creating it right here with you. Okay. So there we go. So it could be any kind of painting of flowers that you take a photograph of. We just did a poppy field. That would be really pretty too. All right. So I have yellow ochre. This is Pueblo. These are all multi-surface colors. Okay. Multi-surface. So we have citrus, aqua, yellow ochre, Pueblo, magenta, and wicker white. All right. And so because we're not really doing watercolor, we're going for a watercolor effect. I am going to put out a little floating medium. And this is the fluff that's inside our acrylic paint with no pigment in it. So we use that instead of water. Okay. So then I have these are my one stroke brushes. These are the value packs. So they're a really good price, but you can see that they're less than $20. And what you have are all these flat brushes that I mostly use. You have liners, little scruffies for doing like the center. All right, I'm going to fluff this out. See, I'm just pushing this down and fluffing it out. These all have sizing in it. You would fluff this if you use that. Okay, and there's two different lengths of liners. All right, so if you want to learn more about how to use all these, go to my practice strokes on Fridays. All right, and people like to binge on those, which is kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to pull out my 8 flat, and we might use a 12 a little bit later, so I'll leave that out. And this is a brand new pack, so I have to get the sizing out of it. So I'm going to go in to my water and rake it. And I'm not going to put this scruffy brush into the water because it's got to be totally dry when we use that. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is let's get some little bit. This is already white, so we can take just the medium and some magenta. And this is the 8. Okay. So I'm just going to put color in this area that is inside the block. All right, so I'm going to come right along here and get a watercolor effect first. Okay, so this will be your lighter color, so we don't need white because it's got white in the background, right? So we're going to stop right here and stop right here, and we're not going to go out into the outer edge. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry as I keep going. Now, right here, I can clean this line up so it's really nice and straight right there. Okay, now I'm still going in because it had a little bit of medium still there. And we're going to come right in here, all along in here. So the medium is giving us the effect of a little bit of watercolor, but the thing I want to tell you about this, it is a watercolor effect, but you can't re-wet acrylics because they'll dry and they won't move. So the fun part about this is that we can still get the same look, but very controllable. That's what people say, that they like that it doesn't re-wet. Some people do, because it doesn't get muddy and mess up on them. So now look, see the line down here again? I'm going to stop and not go past. Okay. There we go, guys. Okay. One more here. Oops, oops, oops. I'm getting carried away. Let's come along here. Oh, we can take this one on out because it's the main one. Everything else, we're stopping at the line. Okay. All right, so that's what we're going to do first. And I'm going to put my first coat on my leaves. All right, so this is medium, and I'm mostly going to do citrus right now. And then we're going to shade some aqua on it. So we're going to come right here and just get that light. See, sometimes a little bit of white will show through. Okay, a little bit here. Oh, I'm getting sidetracked. I guess I will come. I guess I am coming out here, even though I didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. And on this one, I'm going to fade it away. See that? Fade it and not go all the way to the tip, maybe. See what that looks like. And I've got lots of stems that are going to come down. And I didn't do the pencil, but I can draw those. Right here. Okay. And this one has a stem. And there would be 2 lines on that stem, but I just drew 1 line, and then we can use the identi pen to identify that. All right, so and let's get a stem from here. Now, what you want to see is all the stems, okay, have to be drawn from the center. So sometimes I've come over here and put a stem from here, and then later on I'm like, what's wrong with that? But this is facing this way. It's not facing this way. So you need to come straight from the middle and come down. Okay. And I'm going to just make the tip of this come with color and the tip of this. All right. So it's just kind of like a fun abstract look, I think. I think you'll like it. All right. Now this is dried enough that I can wash my brush. Now look what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here with a darker pink, and we're going to come right along in here. And put some darker pink in here. So that's going to give us a little bit of that watercolor effect. So see, I'm going from just the wash with floating medium, and this is straight paint. Straight paint up here, and I'm up on the chisel, which is this edge. So you don't want to use a liner. You want to come right in here and use the tip of the brush to give us this shading. All right, we're going to put some darker over here. And I am going to go just over here slightly so it doesn't look like I just stopped. Just a little bit, okay? All right, now after that dries, or you can use a darker shade, you can come like berry wine or June berry. I'm going to come in here. And this is the feature. This one's right in front. So you might put a little bit more on this of color. All right. And put a little bit of this here. Am I kind of fun? Can keep coming back in there a little bit. A little bit on the tips, and the tips brush up. Okay. So it's not much color, but it just is kind of going to add to it. But I did put a teeny bit of white and put a glow right in here. That doesn't show much, but when we put the aqua in the background, this will pop. See how I put a little bit of highlight? A little bit of highlight right there. And a little bit on this edge. A little bit more white. And just little bits of white. And I can come up here a little bit. Now you might have enough white showing from underneath that you don't have to come back and add white. It's up to you guys. That just means you take a little bit longer when you do the first part, the first layer. All right, so one color I like to use is I'm going to take the medium and come in with a little bit of yellow ochre. And we're going to put that yellow ochre in this whole area here. Then we're going to come in with some darker colors. All right, so I can just put a teeny bit in here because we're not going to color anything else in there. Except I'm going to bring a little bit of Pueblo. Some Pueblo here. I'm going straight paint here. You could use some medium, but and we shade it down. Okay. So these we'll just leave them natural. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is come in, and I think I'm just going to use aqua. We might bring some teal or some other color, but I wanted something bright. Now we're going to keep picking up medium, so it's a very watercolor effect here. All right, so I'm just going to put the darker along here. And so it's not totally like water because it is a gel. But I want you to be loose about how you put it in here. And this is on a dry canvas. So the canvas has gesso on it. So it's going to have a little bit of flat finish to it. matte, and that'll make it easy. All right, so we're going to come down. See, I don't want it perfect, so it's just going to be a little splotchy, which is a good thing. So I just thought this was relaxing, and that's what this is all about today. Okay. And I am going to get a smaller brush to get in some of these angles. But y'all are used to me, if you've been painting with me at all, we usually do this whole background aqua, and then we start adding flowers. But when you're getting a watercolor effect, you need to have it not that way. All right, so I'm going to do some bigger areas before I switch brushes. Go get more medium. All right. Right in here. Okay, a little bit in here. A little bit darker across here. Now, when you scrub along that pencil line, it'll make it gray, and it takes away the lead look. See if I go back and forth along there. Gives you a good look. Okay. A little bit up here. I'm still using the 12. You could go down to a 10 if you feel more comfortable. Okay, we're going straight down this line again. By putting the medium, it makes this color like a gel. There we go. A little bit in here. I did use a 10 the whole time, but no, this is a 12. Excuse me. All right. So one thing, this is just a light background, and I can put a teeny bit of teal out. Oops, right in here. Now, I didn't worry if it touched the citrus a little bit, because when I come in here to do the citrus, I'm gonna let that dry, because I'm gonna come back with a little other color. If I come in here with the citrus, and I can I would tap this down. I can get a little bit, got too much water in there. A little, we don't want any water, we want medium, but maybe it's too much medium. I'm gonna side stroke and get teal. Okay. So I can come right along here and make it a little bit citrus and teal. Okay, so look, I'm putting teal on the outside edge of the leaf. So I'm going to keep coming here so you can see. Okay, so I'm going to come out here. Citrus and teal. So let's go along here with the teal on the outside edge. Just keep turning it up. I got some, oops. I'm gonna come right along here. Okay. Well, because I got that out there, I'm probably going to fly spec, which I wasn't going to do, but that's okay. All right, see, I went up on the chisel and pulled the stem inside. All right, so I'm going to come right along here. And along here. Citrus and teal. All right, so keep getting that citrus. I'm not going into medium right now because I need this to really take over where the aqua's in the background. I need it a little bit stronger. Okay. Take a little bit of teal here. A little bit of teal along here. I'll wipe that and bring a little bit of citrus, moving that. There we go. Okay, one last place right here. Oh, I'm off the canvas. Off the camera, sorry. You guys let me know when I do that quite often. Man, we can see what you did. All right, so now see that look of this background is kind of splotchy, which sometimes you come in with water and you do that. Make sure you wash your brushes and lay them out so that you don't leave water in there to crack the handles or whatever. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to pick up medium and come just to the teal color, not the aqua, but the teal. And I'm going to go back and forth. And then what I want to do is put some darker shades in here. All right, just a little bit. Get some more. More. Okay. We can put a little bit along here. See how that just intensifies it a little bit more than down here. Okay, so we can have some heavier looks in here. All right, and I just want to put a little bit darker in here. A little bit darker in here. There we go. That kind of fun. All All right, so what I need to do now is before we start doing some pen and inking, and I love doing pen and ink. I hope that you guys enjoy it as we're doing it. But what I want to see also is that we could have taken and tapped the dry scruffy and tapped in this look. All right, or we could tap in the yellow ochre. Not wet, but we could tap in some of this and get a nice blend. Okay, and then to clean this brush, I tap it at the bottom of the basin, and then I fluff it to dry, and then I lay it off to dry just like that. Okay, so I'm going to use my blow dryer for a few minutes and dry some of this area in here so I can use my Identa pen. So I hope you like that. Now, just dry enough that it doesn't mess up the Identa pen, okay? So then this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come up here and just do little teeny marks. Little marks in here. Just loose, guys. Don't try to make it fancy. Then I'm gonna come along in here and I'm gonna make some little accents into the petals, but I do a lot from up here. See, and see, I do kind of zigzag. All right, so we're coming here, and these are on top. This one back here. I can make these back here a little bit more detailed. I want you to be loose. And you can go back and erase off the pencil after if you want to. All right. So then I can come right down here and do the double stem line I told you about. Okay. I can just loosely go along here. And if it's a little wiggly, it's fine. We're not pulling a ruler and trying to make it look perfect. But this, if this isn't dry, it'll wreck your pen really fast, guys. So make sure that it's dry really well before you do this. All right, so we're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go, I'm not pushing down, I'm barely letting the marker touch. Okay. See, we want that stem to come over and this stem to go underneath. These are underneath. And this one is on top. Okay, so we want, look at the detail that gives that now. So we're going to have that stem there, this leaf coming over. Okay. All right, let's go back up to here for right now. So it's kind of fun because this is going to go over and show you this. All right, so this is pen and ink over here without color because we're going to do I'd love to do clothing like this. So I've done this quite a bit on t-shirts and all, where you do this design and you pen and ink all the design, and you make sure you do some where it's all just black and white and without paint, and it gives it a whole added look to your fabric painting. You have lots of packets that show you how and give you the pattern. You just trace the pattern, and then you take your fabric, textile mediums and inks, and you paint in. Okay, so here we go again. We're going to make this really jagged on the edge, and then we can make some circles in here if you want to give it a little bit of detail. All right, same thing comes over here. I'm going to just make this a little prickly. A little bit. You can have a little bit of leaf that hangs down. All right, so just have fun with this. So this is a little prickly out the outside edge. Same thing down here where the petals meet. All right, and then I started doing little circles, like little pods. And you don't have to be perfect. See, I'm just real etchy, scratchy looking, nothing smooth and perfect. Some zigzag back and forth along here. So make sure, see some of these I rolled over the petal, which gives it a kind of fun look. All right, I can even roll over the leaf right there. Okay. So with the pen, you can do like you'd sketch with a pencil too. You can go back and forth to make it more defined. Oh, I must have touched something wet because my pen is giving me a little bit of a problem. So I can go to the paper towel and try to roll it off and hope that I get some of that off. So the key is I did not dry that enough. Y'all saw I didn't dry it very much. You really have to totally wait till the next day or dry it really good. So when I go over it now, it doesn't wreck my pen. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. All right, we pull a stem in the middle and some little detail on these leaves. Okay, this has a leaf that comes this way. All right, I'm almost finished. All right, so isn't that kind of fun? All right, now I'm going to sign. Okay, now at this point, you can decide if you want, I'm gonna roll that off there again. I can sometimes, so there's a larger end too. So I use this little end. On fabric painting, I do the larger end more. All right, but now what I'd like to do is just take my toothbrush and so fly speck, because I got a couple aqua spots on here. So I'm gonna put this in water. Okay, and then this will really look like water for float, like watercolor. So let's show you. Isn't that kind of fun? You can make it really light or heavier. Okay, there we go. Thank you for watching another Relax and Paint. Bye-bye.